Hello, wonderful listeners, and welcome to Boomy and the Ham, the podcast where our sports conversations will make you feel like you are losing brain cells. I'm Ham, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another amazing episode of Boomy and the Ham. And here we go. Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 4 of Boomy and the Ham. I'm your host, The Ham, and I'm joined by my amazing, beautiful co-host Boomy and my amazingly beautiful executive presidential title town producer Jesse. Dallas teams are just, I guess it is just their year, right? Is that it, Jesse? Is it your guys' year for everything?
All in.
About 75% our year.
Well, what
All in,
other
boys.
team? What other team would it?
Yep.
Why would it not be your year for one other team? What team is it?
Well, we know what team it is. I mean,
Is it your 10?
I
No,
whenever
soccer.
I hear-
Your MLS team. They're not doing too good.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. FC Dallas, dude, we got this in the bag.
It's the Permian Panthers.
Oh, is it a football team by chance?
Yes, it is.
How about
Say
that?
the
Say the
go
line.
back.
Say the line.
It's our year.
Ha 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 ha.
Week 4, we the boys.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Week 4,
It's
We the
it's
boys.
the circle of like, it's our year, and then how about them boys, and then it gets to like what, the playoffs, and then it's you lose in a horrible fashion, and then it goes to like fifth one
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, this year some like Jerry Jones is cooking something up, we're gonna do it, and then it's
This
we
is
lose.
our year.
It's just a vicious cycle for Cowboys fans.
This is our year. Only thing they did, sign Zeke. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, Jerry Jones said that they were gonna.
We're all in, man.
Yeah, they're all in.
We're
Okay,
all in on.
Before we get into this conversation, today on Boom in the Ham, we're going to be covering NBA. Minnesota is not who we thought they were. We're going to be covering NHL. The Rangers are scrapping back. We could be getting the Dream Rangers Stars finals, Stanley Cup finals. That would be awesome. And then we're going to talk a little bit about baseball, kind of see how our teams are doing, maybe a quick recap of what's going on in the NFL as things are starting to spin up. But without further ado, let's get into the NBA. So, Jesse, I want to apologize. I was not familiar with Luka Doncic's game.
I was not familiar with road games.
He is so fucking good. I didn't realize
He is.
how tall. I heard somewhere he was like 6'8". Luka Doncic.
He's up there. He's like 6'7",
6'7", I think. Yeah.
What's his height? Yeah, I didn't
But
realize
we
he was
have
that
him.
tall.
But his role is mainly point guard. When we traded for him with Atlanta, he came in as a small forward, but then he just kind of transitioned as a point guard because just the way he can kind of see the court and direct traffic, and I mean, he's just all around, like, yeah, he's impressed me. Like, I know he's wowed me several times throughout the course of his career. He's had crazy clutch moments, but he's just on another level. This playoff run.
He's fucking nuts. He is actually crazy.
And Kyrie is slowly heating up too.
Yeah.
You know, he had a big role in the last couple of games.
Yeah. I can't believe they're about to fucking sweep their asses too.
I take it one game at a time, but it's looking really good.
Yeah, like how I thought that Ant was gonna be the guy that did this, not Luka.
Yeah, no, me too. I thought
mean,
Ant was gonna average 40 a fucking night.
And now apparently fucking Karl Anthony Towns is like the fucking scapegoat now. Like, this guy goes 0 for 7 on threes, and he missed like the big fucking
Why
winning
is
shot or
Karl
whatever.
Anthony
And like,
Towns? Why is he so sassy?
No,
Has
I mean,
anyone
no,
noticed how sassy that man is? Like, I don't-
I think Nas Reed had more threes in that one game than he had all series.
I think this series, if they get swept, this is going to be the start of the breakup of Minnesota.
well, they're gonna.
Towns, Pat's going to walk, and then I think Edwards is either going to sign a max contract and then request a trade like maybe a year or two into it, or he's just going to be like, "No, fuck you, I'm going out."
I don't think he'll go out.
in Minnesota.
I think what will happen is they'll probably bring in players, and then if it doesn't work in next year,
Kevin Durant.
no, Kevin Durant's gonna go to OKC. They're not gonna clean house. What's gonna happen is they're gonna build this team up. They're gonna get a vet like, I mean, fuck, I wouldn't be surprised if it's KD, but like Klay Thompson, or like, I mean, fuck, Draymond Green, even like something like that, right? Where they're getting a veteran presence, and or I mean, shit, even homeboy from Atlanta, Trae Young. I've heard. I mean, he's not a vet, but I've heard he's like. There's a lot of trade rumors of Atlanta dealing him out of there because he's not happy. You can really have in Minnesota something good if you have him bring the ball up and have Ant play the two. So Ant literally is not having to facilitate. He's just, he's just going for 40 every night. So
Yeah, that the only problem with that is the issue with a lot of these NBA teams is, the idea of bringing in a Trae Young or a Draymond Green or maybe not Draymond because I think he's a free agent this year, but like a Trae Young is you got to give up a lot for these guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bring them in.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many picks Minnesota has, and if you're going to include Gobert and probably Towns in that.
Dude, can we just get on? I agree, but can we just get on this conversation really quick? Gobert is a fucking bum.
Oh, absolutely. The guy is
Why did he win Defensive Player of the Year? Like, why? Dude, who gives a fuck? Like, it's two sides of the ball, and you fucking suck at one side of it. Like, you are fucking ass. And not only that, Luka fucking
Joker.
Yeah, Luka exposed your ass.
Well, I said Joker, but yeah.
No, Luka, like he hit that shot right in his face, and not even Luka. I'll say the Mavericks. The Mavericks exposed him.
Did you see the video of, was it JD McDaniels or whatever his name is, where after the switch he looked back and like kind of winced and knew it was over. He was like he saw the match.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I did see that. Yeah.
I was like, why would you ever switch?
Yeah.
I was like, damn well they're gonna try that and try and mismatch. I was like, fight over it. Luka's gonna get a shot off either fucking way.
Yeah.
So you might as well take the chance that McDaniels gets through it and Gobert helps out. And if you have the role, Gobert could be in a spot where he might be able to, recover and save it from a wide open layup.
Yeah.
But like, what the fuck were they thinking switching on that? That's the dumbest fuck. That's basketball 101, son.
I think Luka wanted that matchup more than anybody after him and Gobert's little feud throughout the game, like close on and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said like as soon as he hit the shot, he was like saying, "We can't guard me" or whatever the hell he was saying. I don't remember what he was saying.
He can't fucking guard me.
Yeah. Where tried to play it off in the interview. It was like, "I'm speaking for you."
Yeah. I don't know. Rudy Gobert is just. I think people hate him so much. I literally was scrolling through Twitter and saw a highlight reel of that man just getting cooked.
Yeah, I mean,
he was just getting fucking cooked. Like, dude's jamming on him.
Yeah, he's just a big dude with long arms, and he has had some success on defense. I will definitely say that. Like, I don't think he's no like scrub, but he's definitely way overhyped on defense than that I've personally seen. And maybe that's just because he's on the decline of his career. Maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, like,
well, he can't be on the decline if he just won the fucking Defensive Player of the Year.
It's yeah. I
mean,
think more so in recent years, like I think they just like
I think
throw
Anthony
that to
Davis should
whoever
have
they
won
think.
Defensive Player of the Year, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at stats and shit for that. But
He basically had better stats in every category.
did he play the minimum games?
He played 76 games this year.
Oh wow, that's a perk.
Yeah, the most of his career,
Yeah,
which is actually crazy.
yeah. Defensive Player of the Year more so probably since the. I mean, I know this is probably gonna make you go from 6 to midnight, but the LeBron James snub of whatever it was 2013 that year.
Well, it's the same
2013.
argument that could be made with Jordan, right? Like Jordan,
I mean,
how many MVPs did Jordan win? 4 or 5?
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5, something like that.
Jordan could have probably had 7 or 8. LeBron should have
True.
LeBron should have 6 or 7.
MVPs.
Yeah, MVPs. Kobe Bryant only has 1. Think about that.
Kobe, I think, got snubbed on the Steve Nash one. But...
Yeah, no shit. But like that's the thing, man, is like MVP is they like Jokic is probably not going to win another one for a very long time. And here's the reason why.
you
Because
think so?
yeah, because the voters get bored of it. I remember the like we would always debate it in like high school. Me and my friends, we had like a YMCA class where like for 2 periods that was like our PE class. It was both of our electives, but we just went to the YMCA, and our PE teacher was a huge basketball guy, led our high school to like a state championship, I think, which when I was like a freshman. And then he coached for some travel basketball. Like he knew ball. Like I'll give it to him, he knew ball. And it was 2013 when LeBron didn't win it. I'm pretty sure LeBron didn't win it that year. And I was like, Mr. Chatterton, why the fuck did, why did LeBron not win it? He's like, because that's boring. That's boring for the same guy to win it every single fucking year. That's why Jordan didn't win 7 or 8. That's why LeBron won't win 5 or 6. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the MVP thing is a fucking joke anyways. The Defensive Player of the Year award is also a joke. Like,
yeah,
the NBA All Teams, I think is more. I think it's a better way to gauge how good of a player is, right? Like all those guys on first All NBA are easily could have all been MVP, and I would have been like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of the awards, even like All NBA, I think All NBA you might see some of that like favoritism a little bit, not as much as the awards.
Like one, I thought when you said I was gonna go from 6 to midnight, I thought you were gonna say when Kawhi Leonard got All NBA second team and LeBron got All NBA third team, because that did kind of piss me off a little bit.
I don't know. I was just flowing your ego with LeBron.
Well, LeBron had a better stats than everybody on All NBA second team. He had the best stats. How the fuck does he make All NBA third team?
Yeah, and I mean that year that LeBron should have probably won Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, with Marc Gasol. Yep.
Wasn't even on. I think he was like third All NBA defense or something like that, or he didn't even make it, something like that. I don't know, something crazy like that.
Yeah, because there's I don't know. There's somebody who the NBA has to protect, and they couldn't give LeBron another excuse for his resume. If that's my opinion on it.
I mean, there's definitely some. I wouldn't go so far as say there's some like conspiracy to make LeBron the all-time second best player behind Jordan, if that's kind of what you're getting at. But
I'm not saying that, because I mean Jordan still has the rings, but like that's true. Everybody's fucking argument is like, right? I think it would be they would run out of things, right? Like they would run out of fucking things to be like LeBron scored more points than Jordan on less shot attempts. So he has the most clutch time points ever. He's scoring an absurd amount of points in his 21st year. If he has 4 rings, if LeBron got you know, I mean, we could go hypothetical what ifs because that's what being a sports fan is. If Kyrie and Kevin Love weren't hurt in, what was it, 2017, the Cavs probably would have won it back to back. So LeBron would have had 5. And if he got that Defensive Player of the Year, the Jordan fans would have had 0 legs to stand on in regards to GOAT conversation. The only thing they
Well, I
have
think it would have made it closer. I think.
well, yeah,
Not
because
necessarily.
all Jordan fans have now is the fucking NBA used to be WWMB or used to be WWE, right? Like they think guys suplexing each other was good defense. And and they think that fucking, you know, Jordan didn't have a stacked ass team and didn't play weak competition every finals, which he did. And, you know, which I mean, hey, he did it. You can literally play the guys in front of you. Motherfucker got 6 rings going 6 times.
Yeah.
Can't argue it. I always give people shit, and, you know, if you follow me on fucking Twitter or fucking Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I'm gonna fucking say Jordan's a bum. In all reality, it's 1A, 1B, or 1A, 1AA, however you want to look at it. You can have both of those guys at number 1 of all time, and your list is valid.
I think you can make an argument for him, Jordan, Kareem, interchangeable 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think you could do Kareem.
Because I think people don't really understand how good Kareem was.
When was Kareem
Granted,
playing? Because Kareem actually was playing with the
He played
with the Magic in the 80s, right?
Bucks. He played with the Bucks in the 70s and early 70s.
Yeah, and then he played
with the Lakers
in the 80s, right?
No, that was like right around the time.
Because I thought he played with Magic Johnson.
He did.
Was it his rookie year? So it was probably at the end of his career.
It was the first 2 or 3 years. I think they were together.
Yeah,
but
the only problem I have with Kareem is the motherfucker was like 6'11", and he was playing like the other team. If they pan to the other team, you could find resemblance of guys who looked like all 3 of us.
I mean, sure, yeah.
That's the only problem I have.
Especially, that's the problem. Also, you could say with Wilt too, and you can make that
Bill Russell. Same with Bill Russell
and Babe Ruth. You can say that with Babe Ruth.
If Babe Ruth was in today's game, he would be tiki torch and fucking trying to go after guys for witchcraft.
Yeah, I think to a degree. I don't think he would put up the numbers that he put up, obviously, but I still think he would be a Hall of Famer. Because
you think so?
I believe so.
Wow.
Man, I remember listening to this dude argue it on Mad Dog a couple days ago. And he brought up good points that, like, even despite like his lifestyle, like he was, you know, obviously eat his like 12 eggs and his pound of bacon and drink a Jack and Ginger in the morning or whatever the hell he drank.
That sounds like a champion.
He did it, but he also did train his body to a degree, but it wasn't the training that we know today, where it was like batting cages, you know, and it was this, and this. It was, he would do other things, like he would play golf, he would do, you know, all these other sports and stuff, like in his off time. And
but do you really think he's going and he's stepping up to the plate and he sees a dude fucking throw 102 miles an hour? And
okay, right. That's the thing is, he would probably have to like actually train the way they train today. Yes, but I still think he would be.
You just think he would? I don't think. Okay, so what you're basically saying is, and we could just to kind of get back on track. The Babe Ruth. We went from
Dallas and Minnesota,
and now we're at Babe Ruth.
LeBron.
Yeah, we're being. But hey, this is fine. But basically, because we could lump in the Bill Russell and Kareem and all these other guys and Babe Ruth, all these other, basically the old timing, you know, Hall of Fame guys, the larger than life athletes. If they were in today's game, all they would have to do is train a little bit, and they would be perfectly fine in the NBA or NHL or NFL or whatever it is.
I think for the most part, right? Obviously, there's going to be some exceptions, but I think most of them had talent, and obviously the game, each generation has changed drastically. I mean, look at the NBA. It was like when it first came out, like Wilt was just the tallest guy, and yeah, he dominated people, and he kind of understood how to play the big man kind of position. And most of those guys weren't his height or even close to his height. So it's like you have that going for you, and a lot of the athletes in the 50s, 60s, like maybe even into the 70s, the sport they played wasn't their primary, thing to do, right? Especially like baseball in the early 20s and 30s.
Yeah, and like Jordan's
offseason,
competition was just playing against
work.
a bunch of plumbers
Okay.
or WWE superstars, whatever you want to, that was also their other occupation.
Sure. But I mean, I think a lot of those legends in the early days had a lot of talent, but they didn't have the resources and the medical care, and most of them, when they were fucking smacked in the head, they didn't have like a doctor immediately giving them this, or like sprained ankle, they didn't have like the fucking injections right away to like get them back on the court.
Yeah, like, all right, here's some horse steroids, get back out there.
Yeah, right. Like, or yeah, here's like they would like. I mean, just listen to like any Larry Bird story. That dude would like, fucking like get smacked in the head, like not know where the fuck he was, and then like he would like drink a beer in the locker room and be like, "All right, let's get out there." And he would
Larry Bird is like one of my all-time favorite players. He's so,
oh my god, the more I hear his stories,
yeah,
I fucking love that man.
Yeah, dude, he's just fucking
like
so
between like doing shit like that, like drinking himself into a game, or like going up to some fucking schmuck and being like, "Yo, I'm dropping 44 tonight, hitting 44."
Or
like
I don't know how true this is, but I've heard a story online or whatever that in the Eastern Conference Finals, they were playing somebody, and he was like only using his left hand. And someone's like, "Why are you only using your left hand?" He's like, "Because I'm saving my right for the Lakers." Like, it was still going out there and balling. Or like in an all-star game, he's like wins the 3-point competition in his warm-up suit still, because he's just like, I'm gonna win this, no problem.
Yep. Or the one where he was pissed at, I think it was Isaiah Thomas, because the fucking Pistons gave him or put a white dude on him, and he's like, "How the fuck you not gonna put a brother on me?" And then like the next year they played him, like that's when they got Dennis Rodman, and he's like, "Finally, give me a fucking challenge." And like fucking
Dennis Rodman,
that dude is just that dude is just another fucking just world.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that like, in short, the medical and the technology behind the game is getting better and better. And are we going to see somebody who's as good or better than LeBron? I mean, probably, right? Like, people.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, right? Like, is it going to be in our lifetime? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I mean,
is someone going to break the scoring record? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that I just think that is I think that's you would have to have somebody go in, and Nick, right, as much
you have
as
to have a physical freak in nature like LeBron was. Like,
like dropping 25, like
his longevity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's impressive as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong, it is impressive as fuck. But the fact that he has, I don't know, he's maybe missed in his 20 years, what, maybe 40 games, 60 games, maybe, maybe, like due to injury. I think that's even still high. I honestly think that's high. But in like the 20 years he's played, he's probably missed.
He has played. No, that's not right.
And and honestly, I think some of those games he didn't play weren't like he's hurt. It's like, hey, here's a day, take it, like kind of thing, or like, hey, we're going to the playoffs tomorrow, like.
But you're talking straight injury.
Yeah, straight injury. I don't think he's missed. I think other than I think it was like 2 years ago or last year, towards the end of the season, he hurt himself and he like had to rush to get back, kind of thing, or maybe it was 2 years ago. But I mean, his whole thing is like his physical presence is insane.
Yeah.
And the fact that he took care of his body so great and barely missed any time, I think maybe we'll see a guy like that maybe in like 15, 20 years, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll see another one like that for a while. And even if that guy exists in the NBA, where he who is he going to put up the same numbers, right? Like,
Well, that's what I was
don't know.
gonna say, right? Is someone would have to come in, and I think LeBron is averaging like 26 or something like that in his career. That's absurd, and he's in year 21. But yeah, we'll have to have one of the podcasts later on where we just talk about.
Well, I mean,
we'll just debate. We'll just debate the fucking.
We have 4 months of no football, no hockey, no basketball.
Yeah, we're about to be in the. We're about to be in the dead zone. We might have to go into we might have to cover the political election. We have to do something.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk. That's where we're gonna get into our.
Who would win in a fight, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? That could be our. Maybe we'll talk to the WWE and have a 3-way steel cage match, and winner
Trump, Biden,
and Vince McMahon, Hell in a Cell. Last one standing gets to be
that 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I don't know now. Vince looks kind of rough, but I think Trump's got it. But winner gets to be president. We could cover that. We could pitch it at least, I think.
Hell yeah.
All right. So back on topic. So NBA
the Celtics
swept. Yeah, Celtics just swept the Pacers, which is also not ironic
on that.
It's almost like someone had a bold prediction that they would sweep.
Yeah, so Jesse,
listen, get off your high horse. Down.
Yeah, Jesse, you fuck. What, you think you know ball, huh?
Well,
because you're predicting everything correctly.
You know shit, bro?
Yeah, you think you know fucking ball. Got it.
Have you ever been in this shit, bro? Been in this shit?
So, let's just say this now. It will be hilarious if Timberwolves get swept and then the NBA doesn't play another game until the 6th, because that's like a hard... Right? They won't play before then. Is that right?
Yeah, they have at least 6, Joel.
Yeah, they have to start the 6th, so...
Yeah, I think it can only go back. I don't think it can go forward.
Yes, so I mean, the finals are going to start the 6th, no matter what, and if both teams get swept, then that means everybody... Which would be kind of cool, because that means we get very healthy teams, Mavericks and Celtics, and, I mean, they get almost a week and a half off, so... Jesse, you better hope you sweep so you get the same amount of rest as the Celtics.
Yeah.
Me too. I hope we do. I think we will, but it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota just squeezes out one win.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't remember the last time 2 conference finalists swept their opponents.
I don't either.
I know.
Mavericks and that would be Mavericks and Celtics would be a very interesting. I mean, Luka
storyline of Kyrie going back to Boston.
Yeah, Luka and Kyrie. That's gonna be, if they can pull it off, man. I mean, hats off to those guys, because then Kyrie gets his full circle moment of he did it without LeBron. So I mean, don't get me wrong, he has the best. One of the best players in the league.
He traded LeBron for
Luka for prime Luka, so it's like, I mean, you're basically getting kind of the same player, but yeah. So Celtics swept. So congrats to the Boston Celtics and all of Boston. Even though I fucking hate your fan bases and your teams, except Tom Brady.
Boston, dude. Tom Brady, dude.
So let's move into the NHL. So we could possibly get our prediction of Stars and Rangers. Rangers won in overtime yesterday, 5-4. Rangers are scrapping to get to the finals. Like, I thought after that first game with the Panthers, I was like, oh man, like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
I was
like,
oh shit.
yeah, like they shut them out. They looked awful on the ice. And the last two games, I think the Rangers heard what I said and maybe were like, hey, this guy doesn't know fucking puck.
Dude,
And
fucking Ham's talking shit.
yeah,
Ham's talking shit.
yeah, Ham's talking shit to us, boys. We got to fucking, sharpen the blades and, so.
Yeah, if they lost game 2, I was gonna start watching again to kind of reverse the curse. But they
Oh,
came back and won game 2, and I was like, oh
is
hell
there
yeah.
like
And then they
rally
won.
caps in hockey? Like, what do they do when they're trying, like, in baseball, they have like, they do the weird shit with their hats or wear them, inside out, backwards, or to the side. Like, do they do anything in hockey? Like, or do they just like
like the actual players and shit.
maybe like it's
Probably not.
or do they just go out there and be like, all right, go fucking fight all of their starting players and just beat the shit out of them?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just finding that momentum kind of change.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, like all it takes is just one, like even if they don't score, right? Just like that one series where they just like take away, pucks, or like they can't get it into their zone, and like we just control the whole kind of like the offensive zone for a while and get good shots and stuff, and like you'd be surprised how much momentum can change and shift in hockey. And that's the thing, is like you're always on the edge of your seat watching these games, and you're like, when oh well, and like every
Dude,
time it's in your zone, like you're fucking freaking out. Like every shot that goes on net, please stop it, please stop it, please stop it.
is every
Oh, thank God.
is it swap? So they play Rangers at Panthers on the 30th.
Yeah.
And then they
Yep.
go Panthers at Rangers, and then Rangers. Is it just 1-1? Is that how hockey is?
I think basketball does it like that.
No. Basketball is higher seed or whoever has home court advantage. It goes 2 there first, and then 2 away, and then it goes 1-1-1.
Yeah. Isn't that what you just said?
No, it just keeps going back and forth. So
Does it?
yeah, it's just, well, maybe. So wait,
Well, game 4 is in Florida.
yeah,
Game 5 is in New York.
game 6
Yeah,
and
that's right. It's the same thing. Same thing.
so, well,
Game
no,
6 is in
because
Florida, game 7's in
so game 1 and 2
we're in New York.
we're in New York. Okay, then yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's the
3
same
and
thing.
4 we're in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah,
4
same exact thing.
Yep. Okay.
They used
it
to.
is.
I know they used to do. I know basketball, and I think hockey might have done this too. Was the 2-3-2 kind of thing, where it was
Yeah, that's what
two.
now.
Yeah, but I think they realized that was fucking stupid, because it just gave the away team, the chance to steal one at home, and then you're home for 3 games, and you can end it at 5.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's kind of fucking dumb. So, and then I believe they changed it back like maybe a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago.
So if the Stars and Rangers go to the finals, Jesse, we need merch that just says "We know puck," and like on the back it just says "Boomy and the Ham." Like we fucking predicted this.
Yeah, get a
before.
flag and hang it.
Yeah,
banners.
banners.
Camera.
Yeah, banners fly forever. Like I'm gonna get a banner that just says "Boomy and the Ham, no puck," and we fucking called this before the playoffs even started. So,
I'll make a change to the logo. I'll just call it Boomy and the Ham, no puck.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Yeah, we'll do
And we
that.
just
We'll,
give up.
yeah.
We
Do
give
that,
up football,
Jesse. Do
basketball.
that for the logo for the rest of the playoffs. Like until the Stanley Cup finals are over. Just keep it as that every week until the finals are over.
Hell yeah.
So, Jesse, how are you feeling about the Stars? You guys think you're gonna get out of this one, or what? What are you thinking?
It's tough. I didn't watch the entirety of today's game or the game going on right now because I was on the road earlier. But based off on what I saw the last 2 games, it hasn't been easy. Like, if I'm being honest, game 2, Jake Ottinger, the goalie, he was the savior of that game because there was a point in time, I think by the end of the second period or somewhere during the second period, where Edmonton had 17 shots on goal compared to our 3 shots on goal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Edmonton created so many more chances that they just couldn't capitalize on, and we just stole it last second. So, and the way this game has been going, Edmonton has been up 2-0, and then Robertson, ties it up with his own 2 goals, and we scored and they scored back. So it's kind of, this is like a legitimate setup for a game 7, I think. And it's just hard to say, who will get the last laugh. I'm hoping it's the Stars. I'll go ahead and predict it's the Stars just because, I'm doing my due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
It's my team, my game.
Team. It's my team. So, but I think game 7 is definitely a possibility, a very high, strong possibility.
Oh, you think it's going to go to 7?
I do.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go. I mean, I guess we just bragged about how much we know fucking puck. Let's talk. I mean, we wanted to talk about this last podcast. I think we just forgot and ran out of time. MLB. So
yeah,
the Cubs
are
the Cubs are doing pretty good. We're 4.5 games back from the Brewers, but in NL Central, we're not doing too terrible. I will say the Phillies they're on fucking fire.
They're a whole nother beast, dude.
Yeah, Philly is they're, and I mean, I can't say the Cubs are doing like great because we're at 500, which is whatever. Still a long season. I think we're like about a third of the way through. But dude, the Phillies look fucking unstoppable. The Dodgers look like $1 billion team. So
yeah,
I mean,
they look like they invested, $3 billion in a franchise. Yeah.
Mariners are over the Rangers and Astros. Jesse, how you feeling about
that? Astros have been a disappointment this year.
Up. I think for the Rangers, we just gotta keep our heads above water, man.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to. Work out our top 3 pitchers. We just need to stay afloat before they come back. Because I think Don Gray was our pitcher 1 until he got hurt. So now we're just calling up, people from D League, like Class A minor league,
to
come pitch. It's like our bats need to get hot. I think we need to rely on our offense to really get things going. Which, speaking of our offense, Corey Seager has been kind of on a roll the last week and a half. He's hit 6 home runs in 6 games.
Wait, I will say, I'm like, oh yeah, the Cubs are doing pretty good. We're on a 5-game losing streak right now. So we haven't won. I mean, yeah, we need to
oh yeah, Jesus,
get these bats hot. I mean, we won against the Cardinals. We lost 6-7, but other than that, we haven't scored over 3 runs in like the 4 out of the past 5 games. So the bats need to fucking get hot.
Yeah, that's the problem with baseball, is because the season's so fucking long that right now it doesn't even fucking remotely matter.
Hey, well, at least we're not Rockies fans. At least we can go and say we're not Rockies fans, we're not A's fans, and we're not fucking what's another notoriously bad White Sox. Yeah, the White Sox fucking suck. At least we're not one of those fans.
Dude, there was I think it was like the first 2 weeks of the season or 3 weeks that the Cincinnati Reds scored more runs than the White Sox did in Chicago, in like the White Sox.
Yeah, well, the White Sox had like the most consecutive shutouts or something like that at one point.
Yeah, they were fucking doo-doo. Dude, they're minus 120 right now.
Yeah, they are so.
Like, the Mets are, don't get me wrong, the Mets are fucking awful right now. Like, they blew, I think, 5 out of 7, like, in, like, when they had the lead, and I don't know, that whole team just sucks. They're fucking awful.
That's New York baseball or New York sports in general.
God, dude.
Because I mean,
they
the
beat-
Yankees, everybody's like, oh, the Yankees look, Soto looks really good, Judge looks really good, and it's like, yeah, but they're gonna go out in the first round of the playoffs. Like, don't let them fool you.
Yeah, don't let them trick you. And plus, they got to deal with Baltimore, and Baltimore is a great team.
Baltimore is great, and they're very young.
Yep.
Yeah, Baltimore. Who's that fucking kid? That one prospect? It's
Jackson Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday. That dude is.
He went like 1 for 45 or something like that, or 1 for 60, and
yeah,
they sent him immediately right back. I mean, smart. Like, I mean, the kid.
Well, and Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson's only like 21 or 2 or something, isn't he?
Something like that. He's young.
He's also really good too.
Yeah, the rookie from last year.
Yeah, he's really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore is definitely a team to keep an eye on. I mean, it's a very interesting race, dude.
No, I'd say the Red Sox, they're hanging in there. They're not as bad as they were last season, but they're at 500 right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's what's going to separate the close now to the playoff teams is who's going to maintain or elevate their level. Like, sure, Philly is fucking killing it now, but I mean, look at what happened in Atlanta. They lost Acuna for the rest of the fucking year, so I would not be surprised if they finish fucking towards the bottom of the NL. You know, Atlanta on paper is good other than him, but you lose your best player for the season.
Yeah.
Not fucking good. Stop.
Oh, and breaking news, Angel Hernandez is retiring.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I don't, don't get me wrong, I don't watch as much baseball as I should. But I'll
watch the highlights.
I'll be scrolling through TikTok and I just see atrocious Angel Hernandez calls.
Oh my God.
I just know he's probably the worst umpire of,
has ever seen.
Yeah, anybody's ever seen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, umpiring baseball isn't as easy as everybody makes it out to be when it comes to balls and strikes. Like, sure, knowing like the rules and everything, and it's really hard for like bang plays, but I mean, my God, at some point you're getting paid for this. You got to figure it the fuck out, bro. Like, come on. Like, Jesus Christ. That, like, I forgot what team it was, but literally he called a strike on the same pitch 3 fucking straight that were balls by like they progressively got more outside. I think it was like he missed by 2 inches. Like, okay, sure, you called it, whatever. The next pitch was 4, and then the next pitch was 6 or something like that. And like he called all 3 of them. The batter lost his fucking mind. He's like,
I'm scrolling through Twitter right now, and there's a picture, and it just says MLB called to confirm retirement. Hernandez missed the call.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. All right. Well, one thing I want to talk about, let's get in, while we're in this lull of no NFL. Me and Jesse were talking on the phone the other day, and I wanted to bring this up. And let's just go with top 5 locations. But if the NFL was to expand, what cities do you think, what are your top 5 cities that deserve, and not necessarily deserve to get a team, but that you think they would expand to?
Okay, that's actually a very good.
I think it's a cool process. Yeah, it is, because I've heard like rumors of like them wanting to expand. But I was like, I heard something where, Roger Goodell was like, oh, we want to get up to basically 40 teams. So you're basically creating like an AFC and NFC Central division in each conference.
Uh-huh.
But me and Jesse have our ideas. So let's start with you. If just off the bat, what are the top 5 cities that you could see a team going to, regardless if they deserve one or not?
And you're going assuming that it's not like a double up like a New York kind of
You
thing, right? It's
could
not like
you could
another
double
Miami.
up because okay, so just
Eh.
just a, I'll give my little thought on it on one location. We were kind of talking about, oh, hey, how would the NFL expand? That 8 teams, that's a lot of teams, that's a lot of cities. You're gonna have some like,
Mm-hmm.
random like, oh, Salt Lake is getting an NFL team now, or
Yeah,
Portland.
Mormons don't like football.
Yeah, but I was like, well, what I think would happen is they would probably end up moving San Diego back down to San Diego, and then just being like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, hey, vacancy in LA, right? So then basically in that you tech or I mean you technically get one other team in a Western Conference, but you could, shuffle, you know, Arizona to Central or whatever, right?
Yeah, you can definitely rework like the based on geographical locations, which it's already fucked up anyway. So
Yeah, I think
maybe it would
like
work out
I
better.
think AFC North and NFC North are two that you
Like perfect division.
probably wouldn't touch.
Yeah, those are like most of them. I mean, you can maybe argue Baltimore, like maybe Baltimore and Indianapolis could flip in that one.
Yeah, I don't see
But
it.
even still, I wouldn't probably touch them.
No, I wouldn't
But
either. So what are
Well,
your
the reason
but
I won't is because the rivalries that were established, and it's the same reason why Colts won't ever leave the NFC East,
yeah.
is because the Cowboys and Eagles and the Cowboys and Commanders and even the Giants, so that brings in so much money because those rivalries are just so big.
yeah,
I don't think
Yeah,
situations like that.
you would see like Houston move to like, teams like Houston or Jacksonville or like Miami or maybe Miami. Yeah, Miami was probably pretty safe in the AFC East. But anyways, Boomy, what are your 5 locations that you could see teams expanding to? And you can even go, I mean, we could talk about this for the next 30 minutes and we could
oh yeah.
basically build out 8. We could
So
we could say 8 teams and basically create an AFC Central and NFC Central division if that's
yeah,
what is going to happen.
so I actually, well, as soon as you said San Diego, it spawned, and honestly, I think St. Louis.
Okay, I
I
had
think
that
you
I
need,
had that one too.
I think you need some kind of presence in that Midwest because they don't really have anything other than like the super north, like Minnesota and Wisconsin, like and yeah, once it gets past there, there's like nothing, right? Like you have Vegas now, sure, in the Southwest, but I think St. Louis was already a decent market. It's not great, right? It's no New York, it's no LA, it's no Miami, but bringing back a team in St. Louis, I think would be definitely a good spot. So that would probably be one. Um, see. I like the 2 teams in Texas because it just splits the thing in half. So I don't really want to add one there. I mean, there's no like really great markets out west. No offense to the fucking west part of the country, unless you're in
Well,
Cali.
what about Portland?
Portland would be okay. I mean, it definitely would be a good like kind of taken away from Seattle fans. That'd be actually kind of a good spot. That's a good one. Um, honestly, maybe another Chicago.
Absolutely, you're not.
I mean, I'm talking based on pure market right now,
I just think, I mean,
and
maybe it makes sense for
New
market
York has
because like
two.
yeah, because you give basically you're putting the Bears on the hot seat, kind of,
I mean, yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of like big cities because I mean, you can make the argument of maybe like an Oklahoma City, right? Like store.
so yep, that was one. So like, if I was building out a Central Division, St. Louis, um, would definitely be one. Um, I also think that Oklahoma City would be a good one. People may not agree with me on this, but Salt Lake, because they have an NBA team, they have an NHL team now. Clearly, people want sports there. Throw an NFL team there. So I could see Salt Lake. Me and Jesse also were talking about, Toronto.
Yeah, I just thought about that.
Toronto
going
and
up north.
Vancouver.
Yeah. Okay. That's not a bad one.
Yep.
And it splits half.
Yep, it splits Canada in half.
You could say two of them up there, whether it's Vancouver and Montreal or Vancouver and Toronto or
bigger, whatever. The NFL would of course test the market and see.
Right.
So those, like, my top ones were, if I had to go top 5, I think Portland, because then you kind of pull a lot of people from Seattle, and then also you're probably going to pull people from, of course, all of Oregon. Even possibly some people from Idaho over there. But so Portland to me would be like, so if I had to go top 1 through 5, I think St. Louis number 1. I think, first of all, they deserve a team, right?
I don't think they should ever left, but yeah.
I don't either. And who knows? Send the fucking Rams back to St. Louis and send San Diego back to San Diego, and you have 2 open spots in LA with a beautiful stadium. Make 2 new teams in LA. Like, they're going to support anybody who goes in there. And let them make they just have so much money there that they could do it. So St. Louis would be number 1. I think Toronto, Vancouver, 2 spots there up in Canada is like 2 and 3, because that to me makes the most sense, because the CFL is alive and well, and having 2 Canadian teams, it's, especially for your East Coast, Northeast, and Northwest teams, traveling there isn't too big of a headache. Basically it's an untapped market. Then I would say, number 3 would be Portland. And then I think that San Antonio would be probably number 4, and that's just because of how big Texas is population-wise.
Yeah.
So I think San Antonio for me would be number 4, and then I would say Salt Lake or Oklahoma would be number 5. Those would be my 5 top places that would need would need an NFL team.
Okay, definitely not bad choices.
I also kind of thought 6, if they wanted to, Chicago, because of how big Chicago is. You kind of have, you can have the Cubs and the Bears and the White Sox and the fucking, whatever the other team would be, and just split everything. But then I just also think that it's such a historic franchise. Same with the Bulls. I don't see NBA or NFL. I don't see those people letting in another team. But also, that's if they're gonna add another team to another, to the same city, I honestly think it's gonna be Chicago or Atlanta. If a team is gonna split or a city's gonna split, it's gonna be one of those 2 places. There's really nowhere else to me that makes sense to have another team.
Okay. Yeah, I had to honestly, I had to bring up a map to kind of see where, fucking states and big cities in them. So I would say my number 5 would be, I'm gonna say Orlando. Like another Florida team, I think that's
well, they already have
moving
3
back.
though. That's the problem.
But who? They have Miami, they have Jacksonville, and Tampa. Okay, Tampa. I forgot about Tampa. Okay, maybe not Orlando.
Because we talked about
that's
Florida
too. Florida market, but
also the Florida market sucks because Jacksonville, unless they're going to playoffs, nobody's at their games.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I take that back. That was dumb.
Tampa Bay, they're packing seats because they just won a Super Bowl. Miami, because they have a pretty star-studded cast right now that they're gonna fill seats. Jacksonville's kind of like, yeah, they kind of suck, but they might squeak into the playoffs and then they'll pack the house. But other than that,
That's a fair point.
I thought South Carolina, like a team down there.
Yeah, Charleston would be a pretty good, because they need something to split, because that whole region is just basically Charlotte or fucking the Panthers.
Yeah, but
And then that poor fucking thing. But Charleston also is an up and coming and almost a pretty popular city, and they probably have somewhat of the room to do it. So yeah, you know what? I'll put that at 5. That's actually a good one. But I'd also, number 4, I'll put OKC. I think OKC would be a good market and might pull some of the Texas people. And, obviously they got the Thunder now, so maybe another sport they come in.
Yeah, and they're passionate about college football, so I mean it's there, right? Because you have Oklahoma State and University of Oklahoma, so
yeah. I'm gonna go with Portland at 3. I think that's a good one, because right now all you have is the Niners and the Seahawks up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, our Niners are Northern California, right?
Yeah, well, they're kind of like Central California, but it is
okay, close enough.
The most northern team, unless like Sacramento decided to get a team, which I don't see happening.
2. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think a San Antonio team would be pretty good. Just throwing some more chaos in Texas, just based on the population. I mean, they already do it in basketball with Dallas, fucking San Antonio, and
Houston.
Yeah. So I think a San Antonio team would be not too shabby. So I'm gonna go San Antonio at 2, and number 1, I think me and you are on the same page. St. Louis. I think putting St. Louis right there would. I was pissed when the Rams moved back to LA. I was like, there's no reason for it. I mean, like, why? They should have just moved the Raiders back to LA. Like, why is everything going back to LA? Like, there's fucking 3 teams in LA at one point.
Yeah, I think the Raiders should have moved to LA even over the Chargers.
Oh yeah, the Chargers should have stayed in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, I
know they weren't.
I mean, in all reality, the Raiders, none of the teams should have moved to LA. What they should have done is they should have just been like, hey, we're expanding. We're going to add 2 teams to each conference, and we're basically going to make up the AFC and NFC Central Division here shortly, but the geographically doesn't matter to any fucking major sports organization. So LA, here's a team that's going to be in the NFC or AFC Central. Or guess what? Just have both teams. One is an AFC team and one's an NFC team like they have it now, and add 2 new teams.
Yeah.
I didn't understand, like, San Diego should have stayed there. Like, yeah, they suck. They were almost there, but also I don't really think they had the short end of the stick because they had to fucking go through Tom Brady every year. And Oakland is the Oakland fucking Raiders. You can't touch that. Same with the St. Louis Rams. So
yeah, everything's going back to LA and Vegas, and I don't fucking like it.
Yeah, I don't like the Vegas Raiders. They should have stayed in Oakland. But Jesse, what are your top 5?
Some that I have that weren't mentioned. So instead of breaking it up into or adding a new central division, I thought another interesting approach would be just adding another team to each division. I think that would kind of broaden the scope of just keeping the teams, inland of the U.S., trying to make them fit the criteria of NFC and AFC Central. So I say for the NFC East, I'm gonna add. I don't think this one was mentioned. Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I think out that population census and
Ohio
up there in the top. Or they got like close to, 14th. So they got almost 1 million residents there. I think that would be an interesting addition. That'd give Ohio 3 teams, but Ohio also is a pretty populous state. To your division, Ham, to the NFC North, I would add Toronto.
Okay.
Kind of give Canada that flagship team, since they have a team in all other sports. I feel like they won an NFL team. To the NFC South, I'm going to throw San Antonio in there. Like you said before, Texas is just a massive state. That would kind of take some people off, the Cowboys and the Texans. Give them their own team. I mean, I think San Antonio is the most populous city without an NFL team, if I read that correct.
I think you are right on that.
So, yeah, and then for the NFC West, I would leave the Rams in LA just because they started. Yeah, just because they started there first. But I would definitely give St. Louis a new team, and I would keep them in that same division, the NFC West, so that they can kind of, I feel like that would be a rivalry already started.
Yeah,
where it's like,
true, because the Rams moved from St. Louis, won a Super Bowl in LA, and then St. Louis is getting their team back. So yeah, I
exactly.
like that. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's why I figured that would be good for ratings too.
Okay. AFC.
Switching over. Yeah, switching over to the AFC. Boomy, in your conference, I'm going to put Montreal.
Okay.
I think Canada is already pretty involved in football enough where they can support 2-3 teams. I'll throw them in there. In the AFC North, I got Louisville. They're kind of slept on. They're a big college loan. And I think they do
a bit of a smaller market, but okay.
That's
not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, Kentucky.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna have people drive. That's the thing that like people like, oh well, it's a small market. Like, let's just go with Salt Lake or Oklahoma. People are going to drive. It's the NFL, right? It's not like it's professional pickleball. This is the NFL we're talking about.
No. Sorry, go ahead.
They're gonna have people regardless. And if you have a team that's planting its flag in Louisville or Salt Lake or Oklahoma or Montreal or wherever, people are gonna be there. People are going to show up for those games.
Right. Well, the whole point is, can the state or city or state and city support that? Like, people traveling, are their roads good? Like, do they have room for a stadium? Like, those are the kind of questions you got to ask with these things.
Well, I mean,
I'm sure
you can build the infrastructure. All it takes is some billionaire to be like, all right, I'll dole out 50% or 60% of this to get this done, and the state and city helps with the other 40 or 50%.
Right. That's the thing you got to understand is does Kentucky have that kind of money? I think they probably do, but that's the thing is it going to be an easy fight with that? Like it would be like in New York, where it's like, okay, New York's taxes are already fucking high, so they might as well just fucking keep dumping them, and no one would probably even notice. But right, that's the kind, and like public transportation is another thing. Like, do you have buses running over there? Do you have trains? Do you have this? Right, like those are the kinds of questions you got to ask when you're picking these places.
Okay, sorry, Jesse. Keep going.
Yeah,
I'm very invested. I'm very invested in your thought process behind this because you clearly thought about this more than me and Boomy did, and so
yeah, I knew about it 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna at the end of this be like, yep, I agree with everything he said.
Yeah, this guy did his homework.
No, I'm looking through the Wikipedia is my source right now.
Oh, you're looking at public transportation for all your remaining cities?
No, just like overall, like quality of life.
So what do you have for AFC West then?
Well, so AFC South, I have Oklahoma City. I'm gonna get them, and then AFC West, I have Vancouver.
Yeah, I like it.
I have a toss up between Vancouver, Salt Lake, Portland, and San Jose. It's hard to pick between those three. I mean,
San Jose, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, that's really
I
good.
mean, granted, it's another Cali, but whatever. I mean,
I mean,
think
they're
good.
pushing people, so
I think out of all of those, I would want to see Portland, Vancouver. I think Montreal, maybe, but they lost their MLB team, so unless the MLB expands, I don't know.
I think a Vancouver and either a Montreal and Toronto, I think would be great.
I mean, you could have all three. Like you said, the CFL is big up there. They like football. They could support three teams, two on the eastern, northeast, or central, north, or southern part, I guess, of Canada. I'm thinking backwards, but one in central, one in eastern, and one in western, and you'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be cool to kind of see the Canadian atmosphere at a game.
Yeah, for sure.
and most of them are either Bills fans, Lions fans, or Seahawks fans. So if we can give them their own team, I think they'd be more than appreciative.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks NFL for giving us our own team there.
So now we're just gonna pay in a buttload of taxes for this, but thanks, Mr. Goodell.
Yeah, but it's okay. We have good healthcare.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, boys. Well, I think that kind of wraps up this episode. I like that portion. I mean, anything NFL is king, so we're almost there, boys. 15 Sundays, we'll be cracking some Colorado Kool-Aid and watching football.
Watching Aaron Rodgers tear his fucking ACL.
Tear his other ACL. And watch Caleb Williams not live up to the hype, and then watch Dak just do Dak things. And then we'll just be sad and miserable, and we'll just get on this thing and bitch about it.
Yeah, it'll just be drunken rants while we're sitting crying in front of the TV.
Yep. Nothing will change. Life is a full circle, especially being an NFL fan.
It comes full circle.
Yep. Alrighty, boys. Well, good episode, and we will see everybody next Sunday in June, the 2nd. So, talk to you later.